Ken, we're here in San Diego. You're homeless, you're a veteran, and when I asked you how you became homeless, you have one of the, I don't mean to laugh, but a very unique story I've never heard anywhere before.
Yeah, well, certain circumstances put me on the water, and I was starting to make money with a boat, a fishing boat, a beautiful 42-foot Uniflight, and unbeknownst to me, the Harbor Patrol are getting grants for every boat they get off of the water because it's polluting the water, and I trusted the wrong people, and the boat wound up having the anchor line cut, and it went to the shore on Coronado, which is where they keep the munitions. So anything that hits the beach, you can't go get, and they chop it up and haul it away. So I lost everything, and literally I walked around in galoshes full of seawater for a long time. My feet were just recovering, but so I thought that, hey, I'm successful at everything I try to be successful at, and I thought I would try this to see how hard it is to
be a boat captain, fishing.
Yeah, and then to become homeless. Okay, well, there's got to be a good path to go from being homeless to not being homeless, because I got skills, but I didn't have any driver's license. I had nothing. So it turns out that it's really not hard. It's really not easy to overcome all the obstacles that are put in place to get a home again,
right,
and get on your feet again.
Now, how long have you been out here?
9 months.
And most people assume that it's easier for veterans to get off the streets, but you say it's not.
It is, and it's one more agency that you can turn to for help.
Right.
But it's not a guaranteed thing. Very often, they're checkbox organizations, meaning there's a grant written for every organization that gets all these checkboxes checked.
Right.
They get money from the state. So none of those checkboxes are successfully off the street and being a productive part of society again. It's all about, I got them a bed, and I got them this, I got them that, and then they get all the checkboxes, and then they get their money.
Right.
So when the administration of these organizations, this is my opinion, when the administration of these organizations are actually looking at budget problems or whatever, they're focused on the checkboxes, and like any business. And then every once in a while, you'll run into somebody that takes an interest in you and really helps, and that's what happened to me. So I got my housing approved, and hopefully I'll be out of here shortly. So,
good. So
yeah.
you didn't tell me that earlier. Well, we didn't talk for a long time.
Yeah.
So you have housing approved. Is it through the VA?
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Awesome. So you got a HUD-VASH voucher?
No voucher. It's I'm not sure exactly the name of the program, but they have a little bit of assistance for down payment, and then a little monthly assistance, and they don't give it all to you. You've got to actually get out there and work, which is good. But it's nice to have a place to lock, because on the street you can't lock anything.
Right.
You lose everything, and in the shelter.
So it's a work program?
It's not necessarily a work program. It's a program that will allow you
to go work. And you want to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no.
Well, we get our identity, our self-purpose from being productive.
Yeah, and to me, in my life, I just need a measure of nobility.
Yeah.
If I don't have nobility, I don't have any reason to get up in the morning.
Moving forward, and you said it right there. It's the reason to get up in the morning is what people need. Now, we were talking about being displaced in sweeps, and you said that, even your DD 214, is it? Mm-hmm. Which is so important.
Yes.
That you had to. So how many times, just tell me about criminalization in the sweeps and how you lost stuff.
Well, what they're doing basically is for the public safety and the unsafe camping verbiage that they're saying, what they do is they make everybody move, and then they, not always, but they sometimes will go ahead and pressure wash the sidewalks, which is great because people do anything they want. They defecate right where they eat. It's insane what these people
Well,
do.
they don't have bathrooms.
That's correct. They don't have
That's
bathrooms.
right. But I hear this a lot is homeless people don't mind so much the cleaning. It's that when they take your stuff.
Yeah. Every morning at about between 7 and 8, they'll post a green sign on a post in the direction of a sidewalk.
Right.
And that sidewalk gets clean. And 3 hours after they post that, they come with the miniature trash compacting trash trucks, and they just shovel everything in there and take it away. And I lost the last time I lost my birth certificate and DD-214s and Social Security card. Last time that happened was when I was filling out forms at Alpha Project to get a bed at a shelter. While I was doing that, they came and yanked all my stuff.
Okay, so while you were trying to get off the streets at an appointment because you weren't here to move your stuff, the police and sanitation took all your stuff and you lost your belongings, like documents like your DD-214 and your birth certificate and Social Security card that you would need to get in the shelter.
Correct.
So you ended up remaining on the streets.
Yep, and it gets worse.
It's
too.
horrible.
It gets worse too because I had friends, and once you wind up with people that will have your back and don't steal everything you own and won't kill you in sleep. Once you have those people, you really honor that
Right.
that the good people, and the cops would not let them move my tent because they were, oh, that's not your tent, don't touch it. And my friends were like, what do you mean don't touch it? We're watching it. Don't touch it. So they forced them to stay away so that they could trash. Not just, it wasn't necessarily me personally in my tent, but it was just anything there that they could get rid of, they get rid of.
And you said you've also had your stuff stolen while you're sleeping.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had, I've even been tased in my tent. I would sleep in a graveyard over here because my grandpa told me that anytime you need a good night's sleep, get into a graveyard because the bad guys are real superstitious.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was in a graveyard and I got tased while I was sleeping.
By security or by police?
When I came out of it, I don't know. When I came out of it, everything was gone. I had a decent backpack and a decent tent. Everything was gone.
So they tased you and stole all your stuff.
Yeah, it was a real strong taser, so it could have been anybody. But the point is that's what took me from a nice rural setting to sleeping on the concrete because I just needed some camaraderie. I needed
somebody around to protect you.
And also to where we go. Okay, I'm going to go get food at this food handout. You watch the tents, and then it's just kind of a community effort.
Right, and there is some camaraderie out here, but it's also scandalous.
It's horrible. Yeah, the same person that you have trusted and has come through before will act like you don't even exist.
Do you see a lot of other vets out here?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. And some of them are just so fed up with the system.
Right.
They don't want to. They know how to make it on their own, and they'll be fine. Yeah. And that's sad too. But
was dealing with. Hey. How was it dealing with the VA? Was it simple? Was there a lot of bureaucracy?
Well, it wasn't simple because if I asked the same question to 6 different people, I would get 6 different answers every time. So there was no cohesiveness to what their truth would be. So following one person's advice could make you lose a whole 6 months worth of seeking shelter. And that happened to me, but not 6 months. But so it's the veterans support system in general needs to get on the same page. Yeah. So once you do wind up with competent people telling you the truth and telling you the right information,
then you get to it.
It happens real nice.
I used to be a case manager, and it was so much bureaucracy. So you're served during the the Reagan years, did you say? And Reagan you're in the Air Force, and thank you for your service.
Thanks for letting me serve.
What would you want the public, these people driving by, to know about homelessness? I mean, when we were waiting here, a girl who didn't know you were homeless, right? Didn't know why I was standing here with a camera, asked you for directions, and you helped her out, right? And you pulled out your phone and helped her find the address where she was looking for, and she wasn't homeless, and she didn't know you're homeless. So, what do you want these people driving by to know about homeless people?
Well, I would say this, like any community, sometimes we're at our worst as far as humanity is concerned. And that is, I worn the same clothes for 7 days straight with no shower, nothing. And you're getting to see us at at humanity's worst. And that sometimes is our own fault, and sometimes it's not. But I think that's what they need to understand when they're looking at us with disparaging looks. It's not easy to stand up knowing that you are representing the worst that the human condition can be as far as being homeless. So, but at the same time, I have to mention that there are some great policemen out there, and they've really helped me out too. So
the police have helped you a couple times.
Yeah, there's good and bad in everywhere.
Yeah, there is.
But yeah,
so some have taken your stuff, and some have helped you out.
Yeah, that's true. And some of them gave me great advice, and
some of them probably told you to get lost, move down the street.
Yeah, and laughed at me when I said, "Hey, I'm gonna get a job."
Yeah.
But I did some consulting work, did some good stuff, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's they get to see you every day, and
yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah. If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
World hunger? No, I would say that's a fun question. I would say driven opportunities and motivation for everybody, because they're not motivated. Because they're just not motivated. They can eat 3 meals a day. They might have to walk 2 miles in every direction to get there, but they'll eat three good meals a day. They can get blankets. They can get socks. They can get underpants. They can get everything they need and not have to do a thing.
The one thing here, though, is there's no housing. Like, one thing I've heard over and over again in San Diego is there's plenty of food. You're on your way to go get jeans, right?
Or pants, if they have
pants, right? Some charities giving out pants. So there's all this stuff, but there's no housing to get you off the street. You're soon to be in housing, but there's not enough because homelessness is still growing. But what I meant, just 3 wishes for everybody. Not for everybody, for you personally.
Oh, me personally.
Yeah. If
3
you
wishes?
had three wishes.
I get back together with my family.
Yeah.
And that's enough.
That's enough. Well, thank you very much for talking to me.
Thank you.